When you have a chance, can you finish the
You can remind me after I write it down. Okay. So Mem Chesed Aleph. Kama Rava.
There isn't like quite a few people that like to watch.
Didn't say it. If it says Amar Rav Nachman, that would mean usually that he's a Talmud.
Yeah, I see here. I looked it up. He's a Talmud. Rav
Yeah,
Nachman
so he's a Talmud.
was the Rebbe of Rava.
Was the Rebbe. Okay, good.
Thank you.
Okay, Mem Chesed Aleph at the bottom, first wide line. Vama Rava. Nichnas Mechotze Balabai Shlo B'Rishus. So till now we had cases of the ox coming in. And this case is not the ox. This case is the person himself coming in. A person came in somebody else's courtyard without permission. The other cases were we had many cases already from Rava. All of them were but this case is Nichnas. A man himself came into somebody else's courtyard without permission. Vizik is Balabais, or Balabais Vizikbo. Either he damaged the Balabais or the Balabais got damaged from him, which Rashi says at the bottom that Hizik means when he did it via Dayan, and Huzak means that he was a Takola. The word Rashi, the word Hizik doesn't imply that he did it intentionally, but if he did it actively, so that's called Hizik. And Huzak means that he was passive, and the Balabai stripped on him. So there's no difference. They came in Shlobisha, so he caused damage to Balabai. There's no difference if he was active or passive. So he's chayiv. His Ziko Balabai is pater. But if the Balabai was mazik him, to the Balabai is pater. So it doesn't mean that he did it intentionally, because he's not allowed to damage him intentionally. Even if somebody came into your Rishus, Shalobishus, he came in without permission, you're not allowed to stop hit him. But the Gemara is going to say right away that this I'll put in parentheses. I think that a little bit of a parentheses over here. Amar Papa. It's not going well. Okay. Amar Papa. When it says that Balabais is part of being mazik, the intruder is only if he didn't know that he came in and he damaged him somehow. Again, no difference if it was passive or active, but he didn't know that he was there. So whatever he did, he was whatever, chopping wood, whatever he did, and he damaged him, so he's pater. I will have the other way, but if he did know that he came in, even though he's an intruder, he didn't no permission to come in, is Zika Balabais chayiv. If the Balabais was mazik him, it's going to mean that it's intentional now, because he knows that he's there. Even unintentional, but he wasn't careful. He wasn't careful that he shouldn't damage him. So just because someone came in Shalom Rishus, it's going to say right away, you're allowed to get him out. You're allowed to do whatever you have to do in order to get him out, but you can't just beat him up. My time Mishum Damalay, Need Islach Rishus Lafuki, Zuki Laslach Rishus. You do have permission to get me out, but you're not a Rishus to damage me. So that maybe is that a chiddush? That if someone comes in without Rishus, you're not allowed to beat him up. You also have to be careful. You shouldn't be mazik him, even unintentionally. But you know that he's there, so you have to make sure that you're not mazik him. You do have a Rishus to get him out. That's the sugi also about Vinish Dino and Afshe. You don't have to call a Bezdin to get him out. You can get him out.
Ask him to leave.
Sure, you can ask him to leave. You could push him out if he doesn't listen.
Oh, because he's got a mazik.
It's not again. Someone came into your Rishus without permission.
Right, but Moshe Amon Balabait.
It's talking about someone came into your Balad.
Someone walks in your condo. And somebody's in your house. Okay, that you don't know. So you call up Shaul and ask him to take you out.
So Shaul will first say,
would you please leave?
And if he says no, so then Shaul will take him out.
I'm gonna help.
But now it's talking about that he's doing something not to get him out, just he's damaging him. It's not for the purpose of getting him out. The purpose says he's chayiv. That was in parentheses. The main point is to say that the intruder is going to be chayiv if he damaged either actively or passively, and the balabais is going to be pater even if it was actively. Of course, the purpose says it's not talking about that he knew about him. If he knew about him, then he should be careful not to be mazik him, even though he came in slow rishus. But he doesn't have to know that he's there. The intruder can't come and say, "I didn't know you were here." That's not your business. You're not allowed to come in. If you came in and then you mazik, even unintentionally, you're also going to be chayiv. But the balabais doesn't have to know that the intruder came in, and therefore he's pater, even if he damaged him actively. Of course, he can't. Like the Papa said, you can't intentionally damage him unless he's getting him out. Okay. We find Papa and Rabba both of them. Papa said, Rabba is the one who said the statement. Papa agreed to him. He doesn't explain them. So both of them we see are consistent with what they said someplace else. Papa. One of them said it. We're going to say both of them might have said it. So the truth is, we had a Mishnah which is very similar, but Daf Lamed Beis, Rashi points out. Rashi says the case of Shneim Rishus is two people are allowed to be where they are. For instance, walking in the street. Or Shneim Shlo Rishus, both of them are acting in a way that they're not allowed to, like both of them are running in the street. And you're not supposed to run the street because you can't be so careful and you might damage somebody. So it says, Yiziku zeh zeh chayavin, husku zeh zeh p'turin. That's the Mishnah. It's a brisa. And the Mishnah over there happens to say that it was Shlo Rishus, it says Yiziku zeh zeh p'turin. It happens to be. Rashi points out that it says over there, a different version over there, it says, and that doesn't fit with our Gemara. Our Gemara says that Ezekiel says Chayavin. So Rashi says over there, Slav Dafka really means Husku Zebazeh. So I'm not saying Rashi, I don't understand it. Rashi says that the word Ezekiel means that they did it actively, and Husku means that it was passively, like somebody fell on him. Ezekiel says that doesn't have to mean both of them did to each other. It means one of them did to the other. If both of them did to each other, so then maybe you'll figure out which one was more, like we had before, that you have to figure out the balance. But it says if there was an active damage, someone's walking in the street and he pushed somebody, or he was running in the street, both of them were running in the street, and one of them pushed the other one. So it says he's chayiv. But husku zeb is p'turin. But if it wasn't the active damage, it was a passive damage, so one of them fell on the other one, so he is potter. I don't understand. I don't understand the partial words. Why should that be? If someone was damaged somebody else, why should there be a difference between Ezekiel and Husku? Rashi says we're not talking about kavanah shalom kavanah. We're not talking about if it was intentional or not. Rashi says there's no difference over here, and the whole difference is if it was Ezekiel and Husku. If he did it,
there's a big difference. If a guy is running in the street, he's running and he hits somebody and he knocks him out, or he's walking in the street and by accident.
But even accident is also chayiv. Adam would laolam. He's chayiv even if it was by accident. You have to make sure that you don't bump into somebody. And Husku Zebazeh is a bore. Someone made himself into a bore. He stopped and someone had tripped over him. So here it says P'turim. So I don't understand.
Somebody just stops and then all of a sudden somebody.
That day we had a mission about if he made a short stop in a place where he's not expected to. If it's normal way, he warned the person before, so that I'm stopping. So then he butter because it's the owner's kind of thing. But I don't see the difference between Ezekiel and Husku. And Rashi doesn't really explain it. I don't see the explanation of Rashi. Rashi here, and Rashi even goes out of his way to say that the Mishnah and Daf Lamed Beis seems to say over there, Ezekiel says P'turin, and Rashi says who Ezekiel with Husku. That Mishnah is not Dafka. Even though it says Ezekiel, it means Dafka Husku, but Ezekiel would be Chayiv. Taisus over there in Daf Lamed Beis also brings down our Gemara, and he seems to learn different than Rashi. He says there is a difference if it was intentional or not. So I'm stuck. I'm just saying the words. The main thing the Gemara wants over here is the next words. Let's get to the next words because that's what the Gemara wants. Time with the Shneim B'shus or Shneim Shlo B'shus. And this is a diak now. The Bryce is over. But now the Gemara is being like the Bryce and saying that this din is only because both of them were of equal permission. Either both of them were permission or both of them were Shalom permission. But if one of them would have been in a way that he's a Rishus, the other one is not, the Rishus Potter, Shalom Rishus Chayev. The one who has permission to be there, act the way that he's acting is Potter, and the one who's not Rishus is going to be Chayev. One of them is walking, one of them is running. So then the one who's running is going to be Chayev, and the one who's walking is normally Potter. And that's the application to our case, that if you have a Balabayas who's Rishus, he's allowed to be in his own domain. And the person who's intruding, he's Shalom Rishus. So the one who came in Shalom Rishus, he's going to be Chayev. No difference Ezekiel or Husku. And the one about Balabayas is going to be Potter, no difference Ezekiel or Husku. And that's all the Gemara wants. So if the
Balabayas is running in his own Rishus, and he knocks into this guy that wasn't supposed to be there, then of course
I'm the Rishus and you're the Shalom Rishus. There's no running and no running is only a question in Rishus Rabbim that you're allowed to walk in, not allowed to run. But in the other parts, So
let the guy invite him as a guest.
That's called Rishus. That's called Rishus. With all cases, Shalom Rishus. So it's interesting that the main advice that it brings is not so explained. Rashi doesn't seem to explain it. I don't understand. There's a difference if it was that biyadayim or passive. I don't understand the difference, and Rashi doesn't seem to explain it. All the Gemara wants is the diuk that is mashma that one of them would be rishus, one of them shalom rishus. Then we don't look at his equal and husku. Then the one who's rishus is potter, the one that's slow rishus is chayiv. No difference if it was biyadayim or not. So I'm very baffled with this price. I don't understand, and I don't understand. Doesn't seem to be the main point of the Gemara, but I don't understand what it's being said. What?
It's not a mission because it's not so clear.
That's why it's not a mission. And the mission seems to say the opposite. The mission seems to say that even Ezekiel says that Rashi says based on our Gemara, that doesn't mean that. It means Husku. And I'm still not clear. Okay. Next part of the Mishnah. The Mishnah said that not for the bar bibish memor. So it talked about the ox that came. Someone brought in his ox shalibishus, and it damaged things in the balachatz's domain. And one of the examples given is that he fell into a bore, and he caused the water to become foul. The water got ruined because this ox fell into it. Falling into it could be by mistake, or the Gemara will soon say that you could say also even in the case, maybe even in a case where he intentionally fell in, doesn't make a difference because you weren't supposed to be here, so you ruined my water. My timer, have you shore bore, umayim kalim, lamatzinu bore, shachai bore kalim. What if the shore fell into the water, but he didn't? If it was a dirty shore, full of dirt, and as soon as he falls in, it makes the water dirty. So that's called b'shas nefila, and the shore is chai. You brought on your shore, and it fell into the bore and made the whole bore, all the water dirty because the shore is filthy. So then you chai. Your shore damaged the water. But if it only after he fell in, then it'll be put around the water. You put it for damaging the water. Why? So he says because after the shore fell in, and then the damage happened, the shore is doing it passively, so to speak. He's not moving, he's just being there, he's existing inside the bore. And that the shore became a bore. Means, well, I don't understand this either. I'm sorry that today a lot of I don't understand. If I'd be saying it sure, for 10,000 people, I don't know what I would say. But I don't understand this Gemara either.
By the way, okay, first
Here it says that if the shore is on the move, Shas Nefila, that's called the shore. But once he got in and he wasn't damaging, now he starts damaging because of his existence being there. It's similar to a bore. The same way a bore damages passively, it just sits over there and somebody falls on him. So here he's sitting there and the water is getting foul because the shore is there. That's called that the shore is acting as a bore. And a bore is chayv also for your bore. Your shore became a bore, but a bore is butter on kalim, and the water is called kalim.
You make someone dirty. Why are you calling that?
You made somebody dirty. You didn't make somebody dirty. You're sure.
I sure make
How
someone
did
dirty.
the shore? How did the shore make somebody?
I have a skunk and
How
he
did the
sprays someone. So and
that's strange. Here we're talking about that somebody it's passively somebody the same way that somebody would step onto excrement. So that's a bore, and the bore is butter on kalim. If that's such a case,
it's coming out of the shower.
what's coming out?
Well, first of all,
I don't know if they want to tell us scientifically.
first.
If someone puts excrement on the floor, the shore put excrement. The shore defecated. That was yesterday's Gemara, and there's excrement on the floor, and someone stepped on it, and he got dirty. His suit got dirty.
But let's take this excrement in the bar. Now the bar. The shore goes to the bathroom in the bar. Now all the water gets dirty.
So it's acting as a.
That's
called if it's called Achanafila, then it's called law. That's called if it's called Shas Nefila, it's called Achanafila. Achanafila is also boys, but on kalim.
Letting out excrement is not like mazik.
You can just talk about that. You could talk about that. The shore. There's another point to talk about in that case. You put it for more reasons because the shore made a bore in it, and you're not trying for a shore making a bore.
What are you calling it bore if he lets out excrement? What's the difference if a skunk lets out spray or
if he sprays it, it's an act of not being passive. A bore is passive. A bore, the hagdara of a bore is that it's mazik when it's passive. Someone falls on it, or it being there. It could be scientifically you're looking at it that the way that it is being mazik is by letting out, it's moving.
That's right.
But I don't think the Gemara looks at it like that.
Okay, and then one of the nakuda is the water getting smelly or the water getting dirty?
I don't know if there's a difference.
Because I'm thinking if smell might be what do you call it? Maybe it has a kshayanika.
Okay, I don't know. Hivish memu. The water is looking like that.
Okay, so let's talk about a swimming pool. Okay, guy has a swimming pool in his yard. The shore falls into his swimming. So if the shore is dirty, then right away all the water gets dirty.
So that means that's called a chayiv. Then he's chayiv to pay for the damage that was done.
And if the shore is not dirty, but just sitting in the water
so that the Gemara says that the shore is acting as a bore, and the water is kalim. I mean, what does water being kalim mean? It means that it's not an animal. It's not a shore chamor, shor adam chamor kalim. So the water is kalim, and a bore is butter for damaging kalim.
So
why is a bore butter for damaging kalim? I don't know. But that's
So in the second case where the shore is clean, then he's gonna be put.
for the damaged water, right? That's so. Yeah, same thing. The Gemara says that she said a swimming pool. The Gemara don't want a bore. Same thing.
Yeah.
So it says the shore bore mine came along. Seen a bar shchai bar sekem. The Gemara is a question that the shore is not hefker. The shore, the owner still owns the shore. So what's the din of a bar that you own? Is a bar the law afkirate. The Gemara says machlokas. Shmuel dama called to call a bar. Shmuel knows every kind of a michshol is a bar, even if you own it, and therefore it's on kalim. But Rav holds that a bar is only if you don't own it. A bar afkirate. That only it's a bore when you mafkir, but if you don't mafkir, it's a shore or a shore bore, both of them. So you chayv on kalim. So what did Rav mean to say Pascal like Shmuel? Does Rav mean to say only like Shmuel? Because according to Rav, you would be chayv on kalim because it's a bore the lo afkire. The shore is the bore, but it's a bore the lo afkire. So you should be chayv on kalim. Does Rav hold like Shmuel? Ella yitmach yitma. Rav was misquoted. But here it talks about not a difference if it was Mishas Nefila Achan Nefila. The point is going to be what caused the smell. Was it Migufo? Or was it, maybe here Rashi says Gufo means that it had dirt on it, and Meirechel just means from the, so Rashi talks about that the shore died, and now that the shore died, it became an Avela, and that's how it fouled the water. So that is considered a gram only. It's not considered a bore. It's true, you'd be high for a shore or a bore. Let's say it's not a bore potter al kalim, it's a shore which is chayiv and kalim. But if the smell only came as a result that it died, so that's not called yet you did it. We had a problem yesterday that every bore is a groma. I don't know the answer, but bore is only a groma if the shore, if you have a bore. But if something that happened, you put down. Pinchas gave an example, maybe according to this Gemara. If you put down something in the street, something that's already slippery, so then you made a bore. What if you put down something which is not slippery, but because it gets decomposed, maybe later on it becomes a bore. So you might not be chayiv. This Gemara seems to say it's only a groma, even though every bore is a groma. But that's you put down the bore. But if you put down something later on, it became a bore, so you might not be chayiv. And here it says part of my timer, groma balma, groma balma lama chayiv. That's only called indirect. So the shore, when it came, the shore made a bore. No, the shore made a bore. Shore is not chayiv making a bore. Rashi said yesterday that since you own it, you have to take care of your things that it shouldn't be a bore. Yesterday it comes out of Chiddush. So let's say you're shore with the excrement that the shore made the bore. Are you chayiv for a shore making a bore? So there the Gemara talks about bores potter on kalim. But why are you chayiv for the shore's excrement? Isn't that the shore made a bore and you're not chayiv for a shore bore? Ish bore below shore bore. So why should you be chayiv if your shore made a bore? So Rashi and Amar says this. We didn't go into yesterday too much. But Rashi says that's only if you don't own it. But if you own it, so you have to clean it up. If you own it, the Gemara says that you're mafkir the excrement, the shore, bala shore. But that's are you allowed to do that when it fell? It was still yours. Maybe means that whenever you have something that you own, you do have to take care of it. Example would be, let's say your shore. We said that a shore that makes a bore you're not chayiv for. Ish bubble shore. What if the shore had a package on its back, and the package fell? And now it's a bore. Are you going to say I didn't put it there? My shore put it over there. So it's your package. It's your package. Your package is in the street. So you have to take care of it. You can't leave your package in the street. So it could be that you would be chayiv for that. Here the Gemara says that since this bore only was made a bore afterwards, because after it became an avail, after it died, then it started following the water. Then it's not called a bore, or it's not called a shore even. I mean, it's not called your shore either. It means it's a kind of a bore that's chayiv even though it's kalim. That's what that was the Gemara's point. That according to Rav, a bore the lafkirei as a din of a shore means just chayiv on kalim also. It's a bore, but it's chayiv on kalim. But you're not chayiv for this bore because it's only a groma because it became a bore afterwards. The Mishnah continued. Somebody bought his ox without permission in somebody else's courtyard. So he's high heavy damages. And one of the damages, he could have killed somebody. And the case was that he fell into the bore, or maybe he jumped into the bore, fell into the bore, we'll see in a second. And somebody was there and he died. So there's a chiv kofar. Because he wasn't allowed to be here. What if it would be a case that he was allowed to be here? He was allowed to be here. And the person wasn't allowed to be here, then you might say he's potter from kofar. Because I sure was allowed to be here, and you weren't allowed to be here. But here the case was that the person wasn't allowed to be there. It was the owner's son or owner's father. Then we'll talk about soon if it was somebody else. We'll see in a minute. But the shore wasn't allowed to come in, and if it killed the man by jumping into the bar or falling into the bar, so there's going to be a chiyuv kofar. If you talk about falling, let's get a little background about what things we learned before already. That the shore is not chayiv misa. Mishnah doesn't talk about being chayiv misa. It says Mishnah talks about being chayiv kofar. Is not chayiv skila. So we said that the shore is only chayiv skila if he didn't killed intentionally. If he killed shalom b'miskav, it's surely not chayiv misa because misa shore, Bava Kamma misa shore. The only wouldn't be chayiv misa for killing it unintentionally. So to the shore is not chayiv skila for killing unintentionally. There was a big machlokes which we had 3 times, 3 different pages, 3 different times. That if the shore is not the skila is the only chayiv kofar. What are machlokes? I know wasn't clear why the Gemara repeated it 3 times. There was such a machlokes, and happens to be Rav had an opinion over there that he's not chayiv kofar. But if we leave that out, those details, if all's what here, the shore fell. If the shore fell into the bar, he's not going to be chayiv skila, and it says it's chayiv kofar. So if it's okay just to get through this more simply, Rashi has a big complication because it's not going to fit l'shitosam. Is the shore chayiv kofar was unintentional? But let's just leave that out if it's okay, just for simplicity. There is a mandama that says that the is chayiv kofar even though the shore is not chayiv skila because it was unintentional. Here, if we say nafal means unintentional, it fell into the shore fell into the bar unintentionally, so it didn't mean to kill anybody. It happened to be somebody was there and he killed him. So he's not chayiv skila, but he's chayiv kofar.
Even if in the breath before he was kind of on water. I mean, during his falling in is when he.
Yeah, even if it's unintentional, it'll still be chayiv. It'll still be chayiv. Right.
During the water.
So somebody asked this question. I think that a couple of pages ago we came across a machlokes of Rabbi Shimon. If a shore damaged without kavana, is it chayiv or not? It was a small sugya. It sounds like it should be a very important sugya, but it came in passing. Rabbi Shimon, if a shore shalom miskaven, if a shore damaged, and the one compared it to killing, to the chiyuv skila, one compared it to Adam. I forgot what the sugya was exactly. I have it written down here. Somebody asked the kasha. I'm down on the base.
Okay, 4 dollars.
Mem dollar on the base. There was a machlokes. If a shore shaloba kavan is high, it's high of Hanazakin shaloba kavana. View Machai Reb Shimon potent. My time Reb Yehuda learns that from Kofer. The Kofer shaloba kavana is higher. That wasn't so simple. So Kofer shaloba kavana is only if you hold that even though the shore is not high misa, the shore is high Kofer. But and Reb Shimon Yaluf tell the shore. They seem to be going that you don't kill the shore, but you do pay kofar. Which one does the zaken similar be? So a very small sugya, and I thought it should be a big sugya. Is the shore chayiv if it's in a zaken that dish lo b'kavana? And here you're pointing out that the shore fell into lo b'kavana and damaged the water. Why is it not dependent on that sugya? If the shore lo b'kavana is chayiv for damages or not?
So saying it's trying to drink the water, so maybe it is intentional.
It didn't mean
Or
to
not even
damage.
a
It
question.
didn't mean to damage. And the truth is, every kind of regular is going to be shlo b'kavana. Whenever it's just going in the street and it pushes things off. So shlo b'kavana, we didn't have clarity in that tomorrow either. So another one of that I don't know. Still knows.
It could be regular. I'm just guessing now. It could be regular. He's walking over here, and he wants to walk here. He just doesn't see the thing.
And he pushes
But-
off things on the side. He walks through the shuk, and the whole shuk falls down because he's walking through. That's called regular, right? Shlif shal, all kinds of things that are just walking by and things.
But he's
that-
not trying to be massive, but he
Yeah,
wants to walk here. But
yeah.
over here, should I be Kabbalah be by mistake? He puts
He
that
fell,
over here, and he
and that's
he
called
fall.
so called shlo b'kavana. Okay,
Maybe.
yeah. So shlo b'kavana doesn't mean shlo b'kavana to damage. It means shlo b'kavana didn't want to do what it did. Okay. So what do we have here further? So that's the mission. That's chayiv kofar. That if the shore came in shlo b'kavana, shlo rishus, you can't someone brought in the shore to somebody else's domain and it fell into a bore. So he's chayiv kofar if somebody got killed over there. This is the worst kasha that can have a lot of terutzim, that if you say kofar, if you start off, it's the first time event. So tam is part from kofar. Why should it be? The more assuming it's the first time. So if it's the first time, so tam is not chayiv in kofar. So what's the case? What's the case that he's fell to the bore and he killed somebody? He's chayiv kofar, right? The pasuk only says the chayiv kofar if it was shor nagahu mitmol shel shom la be'olav lo yishmer. Hashoy Sakil, here the shore is not Peskila because it wasn't the Kavana, but why is it B'chayv Kofar B'chlam? So we have a few terusim here. The first teretz, Amar Rav, The Muad Lipol Abani Adam Beboros. The names also, the names are going to come up. Then it's talking about that it's not the first time, it's already the fourth time. It's the fourth time that what? That it killed. That it killed by falling into a bore. It's already the fourth time.
He escapes all the
And
time.
the most question is how did he escape? So Rashi, so you would say, and how every time you have a mood, how did it happen the fourth time? You're supposed to kill him after the first time, second time, third time, so he ran away. But here he's at a bore. So the bore has difficulty. Yachi, we should have killed him the first time. And here Rashi says a regular muad, the case is going to be that he ran away, or other to some similar that the Gemara said, how are you ever going to get a muad? But here the Gemara thinks that this doesn't apply because if he's in a bore, so probably we caught him and we didn't run away. We should have killed him.
After the first time.
Even after the first time. Even after the first
But
time.
you said you're not supposed to kill him after the first time.
He's saying it because of a shloba kavani. He's saying in the case where if it was shloba kavani, you weren't supposed to kill him. So maybe the Gemara is going to talk about that. So it could be the Gemara at this point says that nafal doesn't mean unintentionally. It could be that he jumped in. That the word nafal could also
So
mean
if
he
he did it on purpose, even after the first time, he has to pay difference. And if we kill him.
No, it's not kofar. You're going to kill him, but they're not
You
going to be
kill
kofar.
him.
Kofar is only in the fourth time. So the Gemara is asking, what will be the case that it's already the fourth time if it was intentional? So this is what should have standed on. If you're unintentional, then you wouldn't kill him. Right? Because you don't, we said a second ago that you don't kill the shark if it was unintentional. So the Gemara must mean that it was intentional. Why does the Gemara say it was unintentional? Rav Yosef, the Chazir Ruka B'Nafal, that the case was that it didn't mean to kill. That's the Gemara's teretz now. That it saw vegetables, and that's why it fell in. It was trying to get the vegetables, and it fell in unintentionally. So here it killed. Now the Gemara thought it was intentional, and the Gemara says it was unintentional. And unintentional is already the fourth time, so it's going to be Chayit Kofar. He killed people 4 times by trying to get vegetables, and we didn't kill him the whole time because he was unintentional. And now it's already the fourth time. He's going to be Chayit Kofar if you hold that even if the shor is not Paskila, in the shor Paskila, Bala Masham Kofar. This is a sensitive point that I just said because Rav happens to hold that any Bala Paskila and a Bala Masham Kofar. So Rav was talking. So that's a problem that Rashi has, and it won't Rashi to answer the kasha. I don't know what the answer is. But
if he fought 4 times, always going for the
vegetables, yeah,
right. So after the 4th time, then he'd be still kind of kofar.
Yes,
and then you would kill him.
No, you wouldn't. He still wouldn't kill him.
Still wouldn't kill him.
He still wouldn't kill him.
But he would be kind of kofar even if the
Right.
4 times were all.
Right. That's the shloba kavana. That if the shor is killing shloba kavana, so we hold you don't kill him, and he still has to take off according to Amar B'Yamar. And we'll say Rav was going to that. There's a contradiction in Rav, so we'll leave it for the top for Rashi. That's one teretz. That's Rav's teretz with the rest of his explanation. Shmuel Amar.
This is all without witnesses, right?
Why not witnesses?
I'm asking.
With
We're
witnesses.
saying certainly there's witnesses that saw this whole thing.
Yeah,
For all
yeah.
the cases.
I think so. So unless the owner is going to admit on his own, the admittance also.
Somebody's gonna have to be there.
Kofar also. Kofar also. What?
Someone's gonna have to come and say, "Oh, he was going for the vegetables." How would we know?
We have to know. We have to know that.
Somebody else.
To know if it was kavanah.
You could see the vegetable pulled out near it. I don't know.
Good.
Ushmuel Amar. Next teretz. Ushmuel Amar. Not a second teretz number 2. The kasha was that it's a tam, so it shouldn't be kofar. Shmuel says there's a madam, but don't forget it's a madam that says that a tam does pay kofar. Chatzi kofar. Tam b'shalom chatzi kofar. Shmuel Amar Hamani Yabir Shaglili Yadam Tam b'shalom chatzi kofar. So when it says kofar, it's not dafka. It doesn't mean kofar means chatzi kofar. It's not the first time. It will be a dochak to say the cases that it's already the 4th time that's falling on people when it's trying to get vegetables. So the answer will be, it goes according to that madam that says the tam is chayt chatzi kofar, and when it says kofar, it's lav dafka. There was no beferish of Yosef Glili. The Gemara always attributes the sheet to Yosef Glili. He didn't say so beferish. He just didn't want to say that Bala Shanoki Noki Chatzi Kofar. He said a different terror, so the Gemara blames it on him. And if you say that is Chatzi Kofar, so the Mishnah could mean that. And technicality, that why is it Chayt Kofar? Because it's the first time. Yeah, there's such a madam that says that it's Chayt Kofar even first time. Another terror, it's Ula Amar. Rabbi Yosef Glili, he don't make up tarfon. We're going to take Rabbi Yosef Glili, but he doesn't want to say that it's Chatzi Kofar. That's a little dochak. It doesn't say Mishal Chatzi Kofar. It says Mishal Musa Kofar. So we want to up it to be a Kofar Shalom. How do you do that? That a tam should pay Kofar Shalom. We'll take Rabbi Yosef Glili together with Rabbi Tarfon. That is going to be Karen Kofar Hotzer and Nizik. together with Rab Tarfon, and basically Rab Tarfon, that says Kofa Shalom Mishalim, Chotzer and Nizik. Okay, I'll do everything already. Now the truth is that this really a brayser of time. The water is being a brayser. I messed it up. Okay, one more time. Okay, good enough. So this there it says that we'll get a shita that holds even a tam pays nezek kofer shalom because it's a combination of two shitas. Rabbi Yosef completely holds that tam pays chatzi kofer, and Rabbi Tarfon holds that keren v'chatzer and nezek pays nezek shalom. So if they all like each other, so it'll be that keren v'chatzer and nezek is going to pay kofer shalom if it kills. The truth is that this is a brayser. Tarfon said so. Tarfon himself said so. That the Chatzar and Nizik pay kol for shalom. Here the Gemara is making his own cheshbon as if we could make up Tarfon hold like a basic living. Tarfon himself says that. Tarfon himself said openly that there is kol for shalom Chatzar and Nizik, and it's learned out. The Gemara made a cheshbon. He must have held like a basic living, and he put the two things together, and therefore it comes out that there is a kol for shalom. So I have three tibutzim. We have Rav and Shmuel and Ula. Mishlam al Ula. The Gemara wants to know why does the Mishnah say the case that it was the father or the son of the Bava Kamma? Why does he give such an example? That was the father or the son. Why could have been anybody? Even a stranger could have been there and he got killed. Also to be kofar. So according to Ula, we understand because Ula wanted to get a case of the Chatzar and Nizik. The Chatzar and Nizik is only somebody who's allowed to be there. So the Mishnah chose the case of the father or the son that they're visiting or they live over there. So that's the reason why he talks about the father or son to have a case of Chatzar and Nizik. Ella, the Shmuel, for the case of Shmuel, just that it goes according to basically the time of Shalom Chatzi Kofer, it could have been a stranger also. Even if a stranger comes in, both of them came in with Rishus. The person came in, the Shlo B'Shus, he's in somebody's bowl, whatever, he's digging the bowl over there without permission, and the shark came in with Rishus, and the shark fell onto the person. So a tam pays Chatzi Kofer. So even if Rishus Rabbin, call it like Rishus Rabbin, no difference if both of them are Shlo B'Shus. It's like Rishus Rabbin, it's Chatzi Kofer. So there's no reason why the Mishnah had to say case of the father or the son. The answer is you're right. It didn't have to say such a case. This is normal. The people don't come in shlo b'shus. But it would have been also if it would have been a stranger that came shlo b'shus. So also the shor would be chayiv chatzi kofer because even b'shus rabbin is a chayiv of chatzi kofer. So that sums it up. The kasha was that the Mishnah said a chayiv of kofer. The Gemara is bothered one kasha that's a tam shouldn't be chayiv chatzi kofer. The first answer is it's the fourth time already, and he didn't kill it the first time, all those times because it was shlo b'kavana, and it fell in by mistake because it was trying to get the vegetables, and it killed people, and each one time, two times, three times, he didn't kill it because it's shlo b'kavana, and now it's the fourth time, and it's considered a muad because it's doing the same thing, and that's the case, that's going to be chayiv kofer. Shmuel says it's chayiv chatzi kofer. It's not the first time. Ula says it's in the chatzar and nizik, and therefore, according to basically the Rav Tarfon, there'll be kofer shalom. That seems to be a technicality that the Gemara stuck onto to figure out how can we say pshat in the Mishnah. The Mishnah continues in Mechnes Rishus, and good of Bechulu, we really mean the rest of the Mishnah, and that's the Machlokes. The big Machlokes, you have three cases, but the Machlokes was, and you say, please come in. Yeah, somebody knocked, can I leave my Kederos here? Can I leave my Paris over here? Can I leave my show over here? And he says, yes, you may. So what does that mean? According to Tanakama, it means yes, and I'll take care of it. And according to Rebbe, it means yes at your own risk. So that was Machlokes, and now the question is really Pascal. That when you say come in, it means come in and I'll watch it. And Shmuel Milchasek Rebbe, and it means come in and I won't watch it. And you're taking your own risk if it gets damaged. So Machlokes.
What do you hold?
What do you hold like? I think it's a Machlokes also. I think it's also a Machlokes.
Like verbalizing. Can you see if mixed if it's a guy?
This could happen.
Yeah, happen.
The guitar. Let's use the guitar. If something happens, then it's very high.
I wrote here that Shulchan Aruch holds like Rebbe, and the Rambam holds like the Rabbanan. That according to the Shulchan Aruch, so as far as the Ashkenazi guys are going to go that according to the Rebbe, when you say, what do you mean when you say come in? What do you mean when you say come in?
It also depends on the situation. If you see the guy's busy or the guy's just relaxing, if he's relaxing, you see, he's watching. If he sees me, you're not doing something. But I see him busy with 5 kids, and he says leave your guitar. It doesn't mean you're not watching.
As 5 kids. Means that means that
you're playing games with 5 kids. You're not
so make sure you have 5 kids. Okay, that's one reason that he's taking responsibility.
Or maybe
but you're gonna say
kids and nothing.
But you're gonna say so. You're gonna say so.
You say, well, I'm not responsible.
You say so. You say so. You would say so.
I would tell you.
I'm sure you would say so. I'm sure you would say so. Why would you say so? That he shouldn't make any mistake.
Make mistake.
Because so if someone didn't say so, he didn't say either way. So the Shulchan Aruch holds like Rebbe that he's not makabel. The Baal Baita says means come in at your own risk, and there was like the Abanan that he does mean to say I'll take care of it.
When you tell. You'll leave it there.
That's why you always want to say at your own risk.
Yeah.
And
I'm watching it for you, just,
in the case of the nationality party, but in all cases, verbalizing it would say,
Yes,
sure.
yes. Don't have Banan. Keno shorcha ushmoro. Oh, this is this. Here they speak up a favorish. He said, bring in your shore, but you watch it. You watch it.
Oh, who watched?
The Balabai says, bring in your guitar, but you're responsible.
Okay, not me.
So
telling him that.
and also so then here's a chai who's up potter. So if the shore, so then if the shore is on the guest, the guest is the one who's responsible. Yes.
No, no.
There's not that much in it.
So I went over the bond. Says you gotta go.
Okay. So if he says here is separate parish. One case is gonna let's just highlight it to get the idea over here. One case is Kano Shocho Shmoro. Bring in your shore and watch it. So then here's a chai who's a kvater. If the shore, the guest shore is mazik, so the owner of the shore is chai because he told him you have to watch it. He's not there right now, but I mean, I'm only you're the one who's responsible. So the damage and who's a kvater if it got damaged. So the Bala is because it's on you. I'm not taking any responsibility. The other case is, let's just put the safer right away, different color over here. If he said the farish, bring it in and I'll take care of it. So then who's a chayv is a kvater. If the shore got damaged, so the balachatzer is chayv because he said I'm going to wash it. And if it damaged, kvater because he said you're going to wash it. Okay, simple. The whole kasha is going to be that the Mishnah, this Brisa says,
He does things.
right. What if he doesn't say anything? So that's going to be the standard kasha the Gemara is going to ask. It's going to be very long words, but it's going to be simple. But stama. So the Reish is mashma, the only stama is the shmira, I guess. Otherwise, the balabais, and that sounds like the Bava Kamma. Then when I start the balabais is chayv, and the sefer says only if he says perish, then I'm going to watch it. Then he's chayv, but Stambis doesn't have to watch like Rebbe. That's going to be a contradiction between the Reish and the sefer. It's usually a short kasha. The Gemara is going to be very elaborate to ask the kasha, but that's what the kasha is going to be. Not gufa kasha. The Brisa seems to inherently be a contradiction with Amakino Shochav Shmoro. His a chayv who's a kvater. That's the Reisha. Time of Damalei Shmoro the chayv Balashah Potter Balachatz. It's only because he said you watch it. But if he wouldn't have said anything, or Stama chayv Balachatz Potter Balashah, it was Stama Makabel than anything Musa. All that sounds like Stama. Let's just point out the Stama over here. Stama. The D is going to be if he didn't say anything. Time the Reisha holds. Like the Ravana, that the Balabais is responsible. Ema Sefer, and the Sefer says the opposite. That I'll watch it. Then the Balabais is chayiv to watch it. Who's the chayiv? Who's the kvater? He's a kvater, and it's only because he said fresh. I'm going to watch it. Time because he said so. But us stama again. Here's the stama case. Chayiv balashor poter balachatz. Then the Balashar has responsibility. If they didn't speak it out, so the Balabais doesn't mean I'm going to watch it. It means at your own risk. Asan the Rebbe, Balabais Lishmor. That Rebbe says when Asan the Balabais is not Mikabel only if he said so. So Reisha Abon and Sefer Rebbe, all that was the kasha. Took a long time, very long to ask the kasha. All this. All this was the kasha over here. All that's the kasha. That's it. All that's the kasha. But that's a simple kasha that the Reisha said, the farish, safer said the farish, what's the din of stama? So here goes the Gemara. Amar Rabbi Lazar, Tava Misha Shanazu Shanazu. Rabbi Lazar says it's a good kasha, and it's not the same one. The Brisa put two different prices together. One is Rabbanan talking, one is Rebbe talking, and it's not a contradiction. Taka, that's the way it is. Machlokes. Rabbi says I could explain the whole Brisa as Rabbanan talking, and really the Reisha's dafka means that only if he says beferish, you watch it, then the balabais is potter. But when Astam, the balabais means I'm going to watch it. So why is the safe to say the opposite? That's called agav. That's the standard terrace. Also, I Kula Rabbanani, I did the Nasi Beresha Shamro, Tana Seif Yesh Shmiranu, just to contrast the symmetric, to keep the price symmetrical. But really, the Beresha is Dafka and Astam, you Amakabel Shmira, and that's why it says Dafka. If he says you watch it, then the Balabais are going to be off the hook. But Minastami will be Chayv, and the Seif is Lav Dafka. Then have to say Aniyesh Shmiranu, even Dafka also. That's one teretz. That was Rabba. Second teretz. I mean, that we're middle of the. That was second teretz. The first teretz was Tavimish Rabba Loza was the first teretz. Rabba was the second teretz, and Papa was the third teretz. And Papa Makula Rabbi. Now this is you don't usually you can only say that Agav the Reisha said the Sefer. You don't say Agav the Sefer said the Reisha. That's not normal. So Papa has to explain himself. Why does it say that Dafka if he says you watch it according to Rabbi, even if you don't say you watch it, also the Balabais doesn't have to watch it. The Papa Amakula Rabbi, the Savalok Rabbi Tarfin. Oh, this fancy pshat. Savalok Rabbi Tarfin Damakan B'chas and Izin Shalom Shalom. That there's going to be a difference if it's with permission, not permission, even according to Rebbe. His Rebbe says when Aslam to Balabais doesn't accept responsibility, but there's still going to be a difference if he says Beferish, you watch it, or he doesn't say anything. Either way, he wasn't Rekabel Shmira, and the owner of the shore has to have Shmira because he's the one who's Chayiv on the shore. The Balabais didn't accept to watch it, but there's still going to be a difference if the Balabais says some Beferish or not, because Rav Tafan holds there's a Keren B'Chatzar Nizik at Chayiv Nizik Sholem. Is it called Keren B'Chatzar Nizik? The guest shore that was invited in, but I'm not watching it, you watch it. And he gored, the guest shore gored the home shore. The visiting shore gets the damage the home shore. Hilkov. Alma Le Shmoro, Lo Makni Le Mokum B'Chatzar, Bevel Keren B'Chatzar Nizik. If the Balabai said Beferish, you watch it, that means I'm not giving you, I'll let you come in, but I'm not giving you anything, you don't anything in the Chatzar. And therefore, it's called my Chatzar. And if your shore is going to damage my shore, it's called Ken Chatzar and Nizik, Ken Chatzar and Nizik, Shalom Shalom. According to Abtafin, that's to pay Nizik Shalom. If the Balabai said, you watch it. But Lo Amalei Shmoro, if he didn't say, you watch it, it's true that I don't have to watch it. But if he didn't say, you watch it, so then the fact that he lets him come in, Aknuye, Aknile, Mako, Aknuye, Aknile, Moko, Bochatsa, Babale, Chatsa, Shutfin. You can Bochatsa, Shutfin, and Mushalem, Halachatzi Nezik. It won't be Potter. He's going to be Chayiv because according to Rebbe, the Balabais is not Makabo Shmira, and the Shmira is on the owner of the shore. But he's going to be called a Chatsa Shutfin because he has refused to come in. He let him come in. If he says, if you watch it, it means everything's on you, and it means to say that I'm not giving you any rights in the Chatzar, it's quite Chatzar Lagamri. And then if your shore is going to damage, it's going to be Ken Chatzar and Nizik, and according to Abtaf, Nizik Shalom Hashem. You don't know like that. We know that Ken Chatzar and Nizik is also Chatzar and Nizik, so there's no difference if you told them or not, even according to Rebbe. But according to Abtafin, since there's a difference if it's Chatzar and Nizik or not, that's why the Bryce went out of its way to talk about saying you watch it. So again, as far as when someone says you may leave your thing over here, does it mean to accept the Christ or not? Machlokas Rebbe and Rabbana, Machlokas Rebbe Paskin. If that's good, we go on to the next Mishnah. Based on the bottom. We said it's Machlokas Machav and Mimah. That's what we said.
Differences. Across the board, better to tell somebody to watch it, or I had no response to that.
Right, I thought that was in my logic.
Yeah.
Right, the whole machlek is only if it's in your
Yeah,
if he tells you if you're sure, he says that say yeah, that's enough.
Does that mean that you Kabul Shmir? What does that mean when you say yes? What does that mean?
Fair enough. It's not yours.
So he's telling you Kapurya. What does mean Kapurya? So when you watch it for me for a second. It's a place open, but sometimes they need to say, "Can you watch it for us?"
You're saying the same. It might be the same share.
What do you mean to say? What do you mean to say?
Shmiro, even if he's not his own shoes.
No, sometimes I feel less responsible for something not my rishus. If I come to Ramban Shul, I ask you, can I put my code here?
Why are you asking somebody?
I want to know if it's okay to put my code here. If what do you call it?
If you ask me the Bagaba is one thing. If you ask I've listened, but if you ask somebody one of them is following,
it's disturbing you if I put it here. I don't know, whatever.
Okay, if you said that,
if you said that,
okay, it depends how you say. But if someone says, "Can you watch it?"
You put on the seat next to him, so then you want him to watch.
But I want to know, is this kid coming? Could I put it here? That is someone going to be sitting here? Could I leave it here? I don't.
Okay, but let's say
Here-
if there are many cases where it's usually would be mashma that can you watch it? And they mean I'm a couple to be a shomachinam or not. Somebody's by the airport or something like that, and the suitcase. I remember once in yeshiva it happened that when the yeshiva came Shabbos, so they come by bus from whatever it was, Philadelphia. They come to bar park and everybody takes the suitcases off, and then some kids went in to get something to eat. They're from a grocery store, and the one says to the other one, "Can you watch my suitcase? I'll be back in a minute." And then they looked around and it wasn't there anymore. So is it
That is a clear to watch.
does it mean it's a couple? I'm a couple mamish. I'll but without any chrayas, as they say. So what's minastam? Okay.
Yeah, that question.
Shoshai miskabel chaver vika seishav yasu yiladeh patamid mevelades. An ox that was trying to gore another ox, but he gored a woman, and she had a miscarriage. Is a chayv mevelades. So the Mishnah seems to say, because it's patamid mevelades has a fancy case that he wasn't trying to hit the woman. He was trying to hit another ox. The Maisa he damaged the woman, and she had a miscarriage. Is the achiv with mevelades? The mevelades it only says by two people. The pasuk talks about people. Two people were fighting. And one of them pushed a woman, and she had a miscarriage. It says he has to pay for the and he had a question once upon a time. Maybe the question is going to be cleared up today. I'm not sure. That why is it not a regular nezik? Why is it not considered regular damage? How much the woman is worth, more or less, because of the miscarriage? Like same way if he would have damaged her foot or her arm, that you go to a slave market to evaluate how much that devaluation is worth. That's what nezik is. For some reason, the pasuk has a special thing about mevladas. Maybe it'll get cleared up today. I'm not sure. I didn't learn this from my chavrusa, so just roping together. So here it says that a shor is part of it mevladas. But we had one Gemara just to point out that the Gemara said that the fee that it goes to the husband, it doesn't go to the woman. And even if it was the boel, it wasn't even the husband. The boel alone, there's nothing to do with nothing. It doesn't go to the woman. It goes to the husband. It doesn't go to the husband. It goes to the boel. Usually the husband is the boel, but if it means nurse or something like that, also the chiv goes to the boel. We'll call it the boel. Sarah says that the shor doesn't have mevados. But Adam, Shem is kavanah chaver because he shall yatsu yoledah. Mishal mevados. And that's the pasuk. This part of the Mishnah is the pasuk that if a man was trying to hit somebody else and he hit the woman and she had a miscarriage, so that's played with mevados. And the Mishnah difference between the shor and Adam. The shor is part of mevados, and the Adam is chayv with mevados. The rest of the Mishnah talks about how do you evaluate, how do you assess the mevados. Ketzad mishalim the mevados. How do you assess the value of how much the blood is worth? It says the woman as a slave, as a maidservant, how much she was worth before she had the miscarriage and how much she was worth after she had the miscarriage. And so Mashma, the Mishnah holds that in the slave market, the pregnant woman would be worth more. And the woman that is ready with a miscarriage, she's worth less because she doesn't have blood. That'll be the difference how much she has to pay. In Cain, next page, this is Memtes. In Cain, Misha Isha Yoladas, Misha Bachas. When a woman, after she gives birth, she becomes worth more. Means, it seems, the Rashi as the Gemara will talk about what the words mean. But the simple words, I think, would imply that if you go to he's asking a question, you go to the slave market, you're going to find out that a pregnant maidservant is worth less than the woman after she has no blood. Because there's a danger, there's a risk. And maybe I imagine because there's a risk factor, and maybe she also can't work as much while she's pregnant. So therefore, even though there is a upside that there will be a slave that will be born, but the cheshbon on the slave market comes out that the woman is worth more when she's not pregnant, so she's not going to end up paying anything. If he's not going to end up paying anything, if you say that the way you assess it is by going to the slave market before the miscarriage and after, so then on the contrary, he's not going to have to pay anything. Ella, someone has come and the ball. They evaluate the vlad alone, not the mother. Just the vlad. How much would someone be willing to pay for the vlad? That has a price. It's still not born. It's not a born vlad. It's uber. How much does somebody pay for the uber? Of course, there's a chance that'll be a miss, but maybe not. And how much would someone pay for that vlad? And that's how much that's called the mevlados. Come in, never notice in the bal. It made the bal, no son of Yoshua, if there's no husband, but there was a husband, means somebody impregnated her. So it doesn't go to the still doesn't go to the woman. The chiyuv doesn't go to the woman, it goes to the husband. If there's no husband, it goes to his Yoshim. The Mishnah means to say if there are no Yoshim to the husband. How does it say that there's no Yoshim to the husband? So it gives a case of a ger, or now that's very interesting Mishnah over here, because it doesn't talk, it really means to say if the husband was a ger or a eben, mishukra, that's not like a ger, and they have no Yoshim. The case says they have no Yoshim. Happens to be, it didn't have to be the first kid. This carriage could have been not, but we'll talk about the first kid. If they're Yoshim, they're Yoshim. A ger also has Yoshim if he has children, but the wife never Yashins, right? And the child Yashins or other relatives, but they're all within the family. But if a ger doesn't have children yet, so there are no Yoshim. So really what the Mishnah means to say is that if the husband was a ger or Eved Meshukra and doesn't have any children, so Pater, because there are no Yoshim. Simple. Right? What does the Mishnah say? The chiyuv goes to the husband, not to the blood goes to the husband, doesn't go to the woman. And if he's not around, it goes to his Yoshim. If there are no Yoshim, so then there's no chiyuv to pay.
And this is only the worth of the child.
It's maybe right.
But as for the actual damages,
The nezek, so then it goes to the woman. The nezek and the tzar go to the woman, and like any kind of time anytime the woman gets any money, so then the husband has the right to pay us. So they'll invest the money, and the Karen belongs to the woman, and the husband gets the profits, like any kind of money that she has. But here, the whole this doesn't go to the woman; it goes to the husband. And if there's no husband, it goes to his Yoshim. No Yoshim, so then the mazik doesn't have to pay because he's the first one on like as if he got. So the very difficult mission. The mission talks about the woman, if she's a shifcha nishtachra or a geros. That's not the point. The point is what the husband is. And even if it be an Israelis married to a ger, also will be the same thing. That he goes to the ger, and if he has no Yoshim, so potter. So Rashi says that the mission is talking about the usual, and the usual is that people marry in their kind. So Rashi says, at the end of the Rashi, he says, Mishum, the Islam shifcha mishachra marries a mishachra, and Islam ger is the ger. That's the way shtuchamah. People marry similar. So it's the normal. The way the Mishnah, instead of saying what the husband is, it says that the woman is a ger. That's another way of saying that the husband is a ger. So the Mishnah doesn't really mean that. That's the norm. That's what Rashi seems to explain. Okay, so this was all the din of the mevlados. The show is spotted mevlados. A person is high mevlados. How do you evaluate it? According to Bava Kamma, the difference between a maidservant who's pregnant and how much she becomes depreciated because she's not pregnant. Mishum Gamliel says that wouldn't make any money. It has to be evaluate how much the vlad is worth, and now there's no vlad. And then the Mishnah ends off that it goes to the husband. No husband goes to his Yoshim. No Yoshim, then his partner. There was a problem with the Mishnah that says that the scenario was that the shore was trying to hit another shore. The Gemara is making a diak in the Mishnah that there's no Dmei V'lodos because he was trying to hit somebody else. What if he was trying to hit the woman? Is the going to be Dmei V'lodos? That's why he's put. I'm sorry. That's what it sounds like. What?
Yeah.
But the one says, if so, let me tell you to the Bava we had Machokas before, a couple of pages ago, and the Bava says there's no such thing that a shore is part of the Mevlodos. There was Machokas over there, it seemed. I might be maybe held differently, but the Bava says that the shore is part of the Mevlodos to Gamri. There's no chiv with Mevlodos, even if it was intending for the woman. So could you explain the Mishnah according to Bava Kamma? It seems to say that in the case where it's Miskaven for another shore. We're asking Kasha from a Mishnah against the Bava Kamma. It's an Amora. The Bava Kamma is an Amora. So it's a Kasha from a Mishnah against the Bava Kamma. It's not just the Das Yachid. They're asking that it's a Mishnah against you. Ama lachar Bava Kamma. Who then the feeling is Kavna Lisha Nami Peturim? Maybe you can learn the Mishnah. It's not Dafka. In other words, it's lav dafka. It would even be if the shore was miskaven lisha. Also, there's no mevlodos. The shore does mevlodos. That's how we pass. You pass like about the Bava. There's no mevlodos in any case. But the Tani shore miskaven lachavera. Why did they say such a fancy case that he didn't want to hit the woman? I did the kabbalah misli sefer. Adam shay miskaven lachavera. Dachi ksiv kra. Katani reish nami shore miskaven lachavera. The Mishnah talks about that he was trying to kill somebody, trying to hit somebody else, because that's the case of the pasuk. Ki natsu anashim. The nakpu shor rov yasu yelada. That's the case of the person, and talks about there was no ason. If there was an ason, so the case of the person is talking about that that the man was trying to hit somebody else. Mm-hmm. What if the man was trying to hit the woman? Would it not be? Maybe not those.
Yes.
What if it would have been?
And you were actually trying to keep it.
What if he was trying to hit the woman and he didn't kill her? And Masoni but the Gemara doesn't explain over here. What if he would have intended for the woman? Is the no the payment of Bnei Vlados? I would think that there is also. Maybe it's only because the Gemara wants to go and why is not
I mean,
Chayyim
that's what the.
Everyone agrees that
saying.
everyone agrees that the pasuk talk says it's a question on the pasuk without Gemara. Question of the pasuk. How come the pasuk talks about that the man was not intending for the woman? What's your answer? It's not talking about the Bible. Everyone agrees that the pasuk. His kaddish was that the Mishnah is only saying Agav the Sefer. That's why he says the ratio also by the shore. But everyone says that the pasuk says Kinasu Anashim. It doesn't say that Kiyake Ish Isha Yasu Yeladah. Doesn't say that. Any reason why not? Is a man not chayv if it would have been even? Let's see Rashi and the Mishnah before. This I learned very superficially. I'm sorry that didn't do a good job in preparing today. Going down too much. If anybody knows the answer, please speak up.
What's the question?
Why is the pasuk talk about damaging somebody else? If he wanted to hit somebody else, what if he wanted to hit? Rashi on that. What if he wanted to hit the woman? I remember a little bit. I don't think that Enachnami, the case we wanted to hit the woman also pays maybe others. The case why he talks about he wanted to hit, I think so. The reason why he talks about is only because in the case where they be a chiv misa, they once tell you a case of chiv misa and they become a bit rabbi, they must only and what would be the if he didn't even if he didn't, the person responds like even if he didn't intend to hit the woman, even if he didn't intend. A second, he didn't intend to hit the woman, he still will be chayiv misa shogi, and you meant and would that be a ptor for the maybe?
What happens if he hit the woman and then she's pregnant?
On the fourth time?
I don't think it makes difference if he knew or not.
No, it doesn't make a difference.
On the fourth time.
What's the difference if it's fourth or not?
Oh, I thought if he kills someone by accident, he's not bad.
No, you're talking about a shore gopher, and that like that. No, we're talking about a person. Yeah. Okay, so I'll leave that hanging. That's as far as the Gemara is good. That's not a pashut on the Chumash. That when it says that how come it talks about that he was intending to hit somebody else. So tomorrow I hope to come back with more clarity. But all the Gemara needs over here is that since the pasuk talks about hitting somebody else, the Mishnah also says that case, and out of that it says in the Reisha Shor Spotter, but the Lavdaka, the Shor Spotter in all cases, that's how we pass it like about the Barava, that the Shor never pays the Maven others. Amar Rav, the Gemara, Shor Shenovech Es HaShifcha Yatsu Yeladah Mishal the Maven others. That the Shifcha also a shor put on Maven others. Here it says that even though a shor is put on Maven others, if it was not a free woman, it was a Shifcha that the Vlodos came out, that you do pay Maven others. That's a huge chiddush.
Yeah.
We said a shor is put on Maven others, and now we're saying that if that's only for regular baschorin, but if he damaged the Shifcha and her Vlodos came out, the miscarriage, so then he is chayiv. Why that? My timer. They look at the shifcha as property, and just like property, if it would have been a shore that was mazik kapora, and the vlad was they could die, so you'd have to pay like any kind of shore. It's regular nezek. This really is a question that I was asking a couple of weeks ago. That every dmei v'lodos should be regular nezek. Why is it a chiddush that it's dmei v'lodos? Here he looks at it. Here he's not saying like that. That we look at the shifcha muberes like a chamor muberes. Not dafka that the more means to say, but the point is to say like it's property. We just look at it like property. And the same way, if you had a chamor muberes that had a miscarriage because a shore shnagach has a chamor, so you have to pay for the difference, how much it was devalued. So too the depreciated. So too you'd have to pay for the shifcha. A person is different. We said most people say that it's a nation which is, but we saw a pshat that has to do with the im adom alachamor. The word im implies similar. Doesn't say esachamor, it says im achamor. So therefore, we're saying that the shifcha is just considered property as far as monetary value, and therefore the mevalah, this is regular value. And I'm just asking, why is that not always? Why is it always not like that? Why is every by baschorin also, as far as the damage when you evaluate nezek, you go to the slave market. It's true that a person's hand is not You go to a slave market. Is that true? You go to a slave market. Yeah, I think so. For Nezik, you go to a slave market to evaluate how much a person is worth with a hand, without a hand, and that's how much you pay for Nezik. So why is it different when you talk about May of others? So I don't know yet. Could be we'll get some more clarity, but I don't know. And here the Gemara says that a shifcha taki, let's look at it like property. Therefore, there is going to be May of others, even though a shore is part of May of others, it is going to be chayiv over here. Next Gemara. Learning it the first time, more or less. That's the Mishnah. How do you pay? And the Mishnah says you evaluate the woman before and after. That the word, the more thinks that the word is not proper to say mevlodos, is say shmachtalos, which means what? Rashi, how much the woman is improved because she has lodos. Rashi, mevlodos, shevach vlodosu, the ktani shamanas isha, yesh b'chlal shumazu, mevlodos, the kamo sheisha niris mishubachas, ubalas evar mipnei al uber, v'damei yikarin. When you evaluate, Rashi seems to say that when you evaluate the difference between the woman who's pregnant and the woman after the miscarriage, you're including not only how much the blood is worth, because that's true, like Rav Shimon Gamliel says, that you evaluate how much the blood is worth. You ask how much will somebody pay for the blood. When you evaluate may blood, what do? You go to the market and say, that you're not selling the shifcha, you're selling the blood of the shifcha, the uber of the shifcha, and how much would a person pay for that? That's Rav Shimon Gamliel. Tanakam says something else. You evaluate the shifcha before and after. So that includes more than just the may blood. That includes also how much the shifcha is worth more, because she's bigger.
After does not include the baby and mother.
After means that there's no baby. After means after she had a miscarriage. There is no baby, right? There is no birth.
Okay.
And the woman also she's not pregnant anymore. But the shvach below is not. I know this. I don't know. I'm going together. I'm learning it together for the first time. When you have a cow, so we do talk about how the cow looks big, and that's worth more. Even though you know that it's because it's pregnant, the fact that it looks big also makes a better price for it. Is that true by a woman also? When you buy a shifcha, the fact that she looks bigger, is there any more value to the woman because she looks bigger?
Those days, yeah. Those days, someone who's fat.
Opposite.
Today, you're the opposite. And those days, someone who's fat showed with the
You're healthier, but I'm saying this is a pregnancy.
You're
It's
able to
not
tell that.
not
Depends if you see it's a pregnancy.
Nowadays, I feel like people are more likely to survive a pregnancy, so they'd be worth more. Like them, they'd be less risky. But I don't think it was that risky.
So then,
Most women survive giving birth. It's just
Kusha is not
babies die.
prenatal, there's no prenatal care.
Yeah.
So that's what the Gemara seems to ask. The Hakama says the Mevlodos, the Mishnah is including Shvach Velodos also. That's what Rashi says, that the way that the Mishnah assesses it is not only covering the Mevlodos, it's also covering the Shvach Velodos, also how much the woman is worth more because of her bigness. So the Gemara says you're right. That's what the Mishnah means. That's what the Mishnah means to say. Case the Mishal the Mevlodos ushvach velodos, because Tanakam holds that you pay for both of them. That the price is not only the blood alone. If Shimon Gamliel says the blood alone, but the Tanakam says that you evaluate the woman before and after, which includes the Mevlodos and also shvach velodos. Shamanas isha kama yafa at shaloyoda, kama yafa at mishyoda, enachnami. That's what the Mishnah means to say. That according to Tanakam, there's also a payment for the shvach velodos also. Amr Shimon Gamliel and came b'sheisha yuladas b'shabachas. What was his kasha? My kamar. Is there any difficult in the kasha? My kamar? Does Rashi explain anything?
first mitzvah. Yes.
My kamar. The mashma dachi kamar le. The imkain the didach islach the shemei isha yoledes b'shabachas. Tanakam kamar the mifchasa. So the words the more seems to be asking only on the how do you say the wording? The wording is not accurate because the words say imkain. Imkain means according to you. And that's not what he means to say. When I said the Mishnah, I didn't say that. I said that it's not so. Rav Shimon Gamliel is saying, you're saying that the value goes down from before birth to after birth, and that's why you have to pay the difference between how much she was worth before and after. And Rav Shimon Gamliel is asking, no, it's the opposite. It's worth more. But the words don't say that. The words say, imkain, means imkain means according to you. That's what Rashi points out. My comma, the mashmadachi kamma, it seems like Rav Shimon Gamliel is saying down the comma, imkain, the didach. Islach the Mashiach led mishabachas. You seem to be saying that the woman is worth more after birth, and that doesn't make sense because that's not what Tanakam is saying. Tanakam is saying that she gets worth less, and that's why you have to pay the difference. And Shimon Gamliel is the one who's saying that, on the contrary, she gets worth more. So that's the Gemara's kasha. My kamar. The words don't make sense. That according to you, you Tanna Kamma hold that the word woman gets worth more afterwards. Amar Rabba, Bava Kamma. He doesn't mean to say imkain. He doesn't mean according to you. It means according to me. I'm saying is the word is the woman worth more before she gives birth than after she gives birth. But that's the opposite. The opposite is true. You go to the slave market, you'll see that the woman who's pregnant is not worth as much money as.
She doesn't have a coil.
Okay.
And the birth is a whole process, takes time.
Okay. Ella shamanas avlodas v'nosin lebal. So that's true. That's the right pshat in the Mishnah. Even though the words are a little bit not the way we would have said it. We wouldn't have said imkain. We would have said adrabba. But that's what the Mishnah means. That's what he says. He says v'chi. He doesn't say imkain. He says, is it true, like you say, that the woman gets worth more, is worth more before she gives birth than afterwards? It's the opposite. That was whose pshat? Rabba. That was Rabba's pshat. Rabba Amar, different pshat. Rabba Amar Chiktani. V'chiisha l'mi sheyoladas mishabachas. Ve'im hatzma b'shvach v'lodas klum. Ella shomenes avlodas v'nosin l'bal. B'shvach v'lodas cholkin. Whole different pshat. That Rav Shema Gamliel is arguing who gets the shvach v'lodas. Means the Tanna Kamma's evaluation is the way he assesses it. How much a woman is worth more before and after. We'll take it that the woman is worth more when she's pregnant. Let's say that's true. That the woman is worth more before. But the Tanna Kamma is giving that all to the husband. And Rabbi says that Rabbi Shmuel's kasha is, does all of her money, the money of this blood, all go to the husband and she doesn't get any of it? No. When the pasuk says the big blood goes to the blood, only the big blood does. So that you evaluate how much will someone pay for the blood. And that goes to the husband. But the difference between the woman, how much is worth before and after, shvach v'lodas cholkin. The woman has a right to that also, just as much as the husband does, because both of them cause the pregnancy, the husband and the wife, not only the husband. So therefore, he argues according to this pshat, he's not saying that the woman gets worth more after birth. He also agrees to the Tanna Kamma that in a slave market, the pregnant woman is worth more than the woman after birth. But he's also arguing who gets that shevach. Tanna Kamma says shevach goes to the husband also. And Rabbi Shimon Gamliel said that the shevach goes to both of them. Tani Namayachi have a brisa like this also. The first pshat also had a brisa. There's a Rabbi's pshat had a Tani Namayachi, and our Rabbi's pshat also has a Tani Namayachi. Rabbi Shimon Gamliel v'chisho l'misho ladas b'shabachas ve'in latzma b'shabach v'ladas klum. Does all the money of her improvement go to the husband and she doesn't get anything? No. El Hashem nezek v'fnei atzma v'tzaber v'fnei atzma v'shem nes avlodos v'nosim l'bal. So the nezek and the tzar go to the woman. That doesn't say that, but I've had that before. That the nezek and the tzar go to the woman. If there was other nezek also, and Yesham and the v'lod, that goes to the husband. Now the problem is that Tani Namayachi, and it's to the both of them are B'Shem Gamliel. What does B'Shem Gamliel really hold? Kasha the B'Shem Gamliel at the B'Shem Gamliel. No kasha. Kan b'mavakeres, kan b'sheni b'mavakeres. It's the first birth. The first birth, the woman is in danger. The woman is in much more danger by the first birth than by subsequent births. So the first, if it was the first birth of B'Shem Gamliel's taina is that she's worth. You didn't give her anything. They didn't give the husband anything because she's worth more afterwards. She was in danger before. So the more let's talk about the fact that she can't work so hard if she's pregnant. The more talking about that would take into consideration. But if she's going to have a successful birth, so surely it's going to her deficiency, and she's really worth more. But if it's a mavakeres, before her first birth, then there's a big shiloh if she's going to make it, and then Rav Shmuel says that there's no mevlodas at all. So for the first time around, the first birth, so surely Rav Shmuel is going to say, surely you have to evaluate how much someone will pay for the blood. It's worth something, but as far as the mother is going to be worth more after she gives birth. And if it's not mavakeres, then Rav Shmuel agrees that she is worth more before the birth. But he argues that the shevach for mothers doesn't go to the husband; it goes to both of them. Okay. Yes, thank you.
Why do I have